Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
I want to ride my
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride it where I like.
You say black?
Student safety is often a main concern and a top priority for colleges. Carlos Balsas, a professor of geography and planning, explains that college campuses are privileged places to communicate sustainability and help reshape society's transportation patterns. With that being said, there are various modes of transportation around college campuses, the most common forms of transportation being biking and walking. Given UCSD's large campus, there are many efforts made to ease the existence of both modes of transportation. This sign was found in various locations on UCSD's campus in spring of 2017. UCSD's administration seems to care about both their bikers and non-bikers, but this is not regulated, therefore not effective. Through our research, we have found that many people are reluctant to bike and/or do not bike anymore because of the lack of safety regulations and poor infrastructure. We propose a change in bike regulations and improvements in infrastructure in order to promote bike use on campus. We distributed a short bike survey to Dr. Bronstein's Cat 3 class. According to our survey about bike safety, we found that out of 47 responses, only 25.5% of students ride a bike on campus. However, out of the responses, 63.8% of students feel put at danger by bike riders. The same 63.8% also agree that UCSD is not a bike-friendly campus. One student claims while UCSD may be a bike-friendly campus, the absence of any regulation of bike lanes and pedestrian lanes can make negotiating traffic quite difficult for pedestrians. Also, lots of people do not know how to steer their bikes or follow common sense safety procedures. From the responses on the survey, we can conclude that not only do students agree that there are not enough bike lanes, but the regulations are not enforced properly.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Natalie Kochavi. I just graduated from UCSD. I was a communications major.
While you were at UCSD, did you bike around campus?
Not really. I
Why?
thought about it for a while, but I just kept finding that I would see people actually fall off their bikes all the time, and it scared me, so I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah. Were there any other reasons why you chose not to bike?
I think I've noticed that most people actually end up having to walk their bikes a good part of the way, so it didn't seem like there was much point. You're gonna be stuck with this big bike all the time trying to get to class, and you have to figure out where to park it, and you can't even bike everywhere because there's all these stupid rules about where you can and can't go. I guess noticing the lack of bike lanes, because I actually would have to commute because I lived off campus, and commuting with the lack of bike lanes next to cars raises the percentage of dying, and I'm not down for that. So I didn't want to get hit by a car, and they scare me. So taking it with me just by riding to school would take forever as well, and taking it on the bus, I don't want to be that person that everyone waits for to put the bike on the bus. It's a lot harder, especially if you're trying to rush to school if you're a little bit late. So I felt that I would probably end up being late more if I had the bike than other way around.
But do you think if UCSD had more bike lanes, that having a bike would make it easier to get to class on time and more convenient?
Definitely. If they did, I would have definitely had a bike at that point, because I would end up running huffing and puffing into class, being late, getting from ERC all the way to Warren was impossible. So a bike lane just around campus everywhere would be great, because going through Library Walk, where everyone keeps actually riding their bikes, could get you fined and is really dangerous for both the biker and the pedestrian.
What do you think would make biking on campus easier and safer?
A completely separate pathway, kind of like the one that there is right now from Peterson down to the Library Walk, but more of those. And also you can't have the pedestrians walking there, or maybe they'll get fined, because I feel like it happens anyway, and then there's no point to it.
Well, I'm Molly. I'm a freshman here at UCSD. I'm in Marshall College, and I'm also a biker.
How is your experience as a biker?
Well, to be honest, it's a little rough. It's rough. I would have to say it's definitely difficult biking around UCSD because I know that UCSD is supposed to be a bike-friendly campus, but lately, like throughout this whole year, it's been really difficult getting around because there are a lot of like pathways and everything just marked for pedestrians, and then bikes can't go on them. And especially with paths that are like that are just designated for bikers, pedestrians still walk on them, especially down the hill. Like, we can't be worried about hitting someone if we're rushing to class or on our bike.
Do you think the bike lanes are in the right spots?
I think a few of them are. A few of them aren't even existing. They're like not even there.
What sort of trouble does that cause?
I would have to say, I mean, it's more of a nuisance now having a bike, because at the beginning of the year I thought it would help me getting around, but now in addition to having to find a place to park the bike, which by the way, UCSD needs more bike areas to park our bike, like bike parking areas. I think we need to have and implement more paths that are strictly for bikers that people are able to get around the campus more. Like from going from Rebel all the way to ERC is impossible because the Rebel Plaza is blocked off just to pedestrians, whereas the bike's supposed to go. And I understand that there's like a service road, but that's for cars. So either I have to worry about getting hit by a car or me hitting someone or a pedestrian, like there's like no way for a bike to walk. So I'm either like walking my bike the whole way and being late to class, or I get in trouble.
Would you be able to get to class on time if you didn't have a bike?
No, I wouldn't be.
University of California at Davis. A well-respected university partnered with a bicycle-friendly city that earned the League of American Bicyclists' first Platinum Bicycle City designation. Davis has more bikes than cars and over 100 miles of bike paths. 17% of residents commute by bike. That's 35 times the national average. And bike lanes exist on 95% of main roads in Davis. But at the core of these statistics is UC Davis, a university with a bicycle program that demonstrates how thoughtful infrastructure can make traveling by bicycle safe, easy, and highly enjoyable.
I'm Susan Handy. I'm a professor in the Department of Environmental Science and Policy. Davis is an incredibly comfortable place to bicycle. I would argue that it's the most comfortable place in the U.S. for bicycling, and it's the city as well as the campus. A lot of that is the infrastructure. When you're out there on a bike, you're almost always within sight of some other bicyclist on the street.
I'm Matt Dulcich, and I'm an environmental planner here at UC Davis. I work a lot on bike and pedestrian planning.
Matt's work involves careful planning of the bicycle facilities that make up the successful infrastructure at UC Davis, including bike roundabouts, bike paths, bike parking, and bike signals, all designed with the cyclist's ease, safety, and comfort as priorities. Bicycle roundabouts flourish on bike paths for the same reason they were successful on core campus roads, because they efficiently manage heavy bicycle traffic.
What we've built over the years are bike paths that are wide enough to handle the high volume of bikes, and as much as we can, we've also installed a parallel sidewalk so that the pedestrians are outside of that bike path.
An important aspect that makes bicycling a favorite choice of travel is that UC Davis's core campus is closed to automobiles. This allows students and faculty to more quickly and safely get from one classroom to another. Planners at UC Davis are committed to the concept of permeability, which is the ability for cyclists to ride to and park their bikes within a few steps of building entrances. This commitment keeps bicycling extremely convenient. The ease and comfort of riding a bicycle extends beyond campus grounds into the city of Davis. The seamless integration and connection between the city and the campus is due in large part to the collaborative relationship they maintain. Bicycle signal heads provide exclusive right-of-way to bicyclists entering and leaving the UC Davis campus. Parking permits for automobiles are not available to freshmen at UC Davis, which makes bicycling a much more viable choice and likely helps to enhance the ongoing behavior of choosing to bike.
So that's the thing that we've been focusing on, is how do you get people to take advantage of the wonderful infrastructure that we've got here in a place like Davis. One of the really important things is comfort level with bicycling, and we think that's affected by the infrastructure as well as people's experience over their lives with bicycling. That's why education programs are so important, is to help those kids who maybe don't have as much bicycling experience but who are willing to give it a try once they get here. The fact that students arrive here at Davis and get on a bike as a way to get to and from campus, I think has incredible potential for influencing bicycling later in their lives. I think that has the potential to carry over to their life after UC Davis.
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
I want to ride my
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride